Yes, it's Festivus for the rest of us. And I got a lot of problems with you people, and you're going to hear about it. We're going to air our Philly sports grievances. And maybe some of your grievances you have with me. I don't know. We'll see. We got lots of Eagles, Phillies, Sixers on the docket, trending in the AM. 2 days from Christmas morning. We're live in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM, right here on the STT Sports Network. We are live, YouTube, Twitter, as we are every single morning, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. live for 90-plus minutes of sports talk, taking your thoughts and opinions. Please, wherever you're watching, do me that favor, smash that like button, subscribe to the STT Sports Network, and share this out. I'd greatly appreciate you clicking those buttons. It's free to do, and if you don't, I've got problems with you. So please, whether you're watching live or if you're watching this later on replay, hit all those buttons. And if you're part of the replay gang watching this later, drop your thoughts and comments as I respond to all replay comments as well, even the Cowboy troll comments. So, yes, make sure you hit those buttons. It's free to do, guys. I'm Phil Stiefel. Today is two things. Today, one is my older brother's birthday. So happy birthday, Willie. I doubt you're watching, but hey, I'll say it anyway. Two, it's Festivus for the rest of us. Obviously, the classic holiday made famous by the episode of Seinfeld way back in the day. And the main part of Festivus is the airing of grievances, where you have to sit there and listen to the host tell you all about the problems that he has with you, right? And I got problems with y'all. I got problems with Philly sports. I got problems with Philly sports media, but I'm going to flip the script today, and I'm not going to be airing my grievances. Why I'm going to air my grievances throughout the show. But this is the show where you get to air your grievances. Who do you have a problem with in Philadelphia sports? Is it a player? Is it a team? Is it an organization, a coach, a GM? Who do you have the biggest issues with, and why? And this could be a free-for-all. This could be whatever. But we're going to air them. Who do we have the biggest issues with? And when I look at our four major programs in this city, the Eagles, Sixers, Phillies, Flyers, and that's our poll question of the day, very, very early in the voting, the Phillies are blowing everybody else out of the water. Honestly, early voting, the Flyers don't even have a single vote yet for somebody that's got a problem with them. We've got problems with them all. But I think it's more than just airing our grievances about the sports teams. We can air our grievances about the media and how they cover these teams in the city, how the national media treats this city. I think in 2025 here, we got a lot of people that we could bitch and moan at and complain about and have a problem with. What's up, Nooms? How you doing this great morning? I'm here. Good morning, Little G. Early commenters in right away there. Look, it's a holiday week. It's the 23rd. We are almost at Christmas. One of my, if not my favorite holiday of the year. I love the day before Christmas Eve. We get to have a little fun before the magic of Christmas Eve begins tomorrow. But here we are. And I want to start, while we're waiting for people to come in here, I want to start with airing my grievances towards the haters. The haters of the Philadelphia Eagles. To the haters of Jalen Hurts and this offense. I'm here to tell you that the Eagles offense and this Eagles team is not as bad as people think. When you go and you look at the statistics of this Eagles team, is it really as bad as we think? Because I don't know if it is. When you look at where this team ranks statistically speaking individually, are they really having bad seasons? Yeah, it hasn't been looking pretty at times. But the people that want to tear it down, I got a problem with it. Your grievances with Oprah. Well, please explain why. Good morning, Steve. How you doing? I feel a little bit better. I mean, I don't have all the flu symptoms anymore. I'm still really, really right here smacking my face like there's a weight on my face right now. But outside of that, we've turned the corner. Thank you for asking, though. Turned the corner towards feeling better, which is good because we got a lot to do with Christmas in 2 days, right? A lot's to accomplish on Christmas and then right after Christmas. So, yes, thank you very much for asking. I've got a grievance. My biggest grievance is with the people that think that this Eagles team has no chance. That Jalen Hurts has had a bad year. Jalen Hurts is having arguably his best year as a quarterback and leader of this team. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are both in the top 15 in receiving yards and both under 70 yards away from 1,000-yard seasons again. Saquon Barkley, for as bad of his year is ninth in the league in rushing yards. Jalen Hurts is, fifth in touchdown passes. It's like third in overall touchdowns. Jalen Hurts and this Eagles offense has put together numbers I don't think people realize how they're doing. Jalen Hurts has put, where's the numbers? There. More touchdown passes than Jordan Love, Baker Mayfield. Less interceptions thrown than Drake May and Josh Allen and Dak Prescott and Trevor Lawrence. More rushing touchdowns than Bijan Robinson, his teammate Saquon Barkley. So the question is it that bad? No time for me. I've always been there for her. Gotcha. You're a weird one. That's a weird one for sure. I also got a big beef with, all right, NFL fans. Why do I have a beef? There's VCP very early. Why do I have a beef with NFL fans? Pro Bowl voting will be announced later today. The official who makes it. And I know the Pro Bowl is meaningless. The problem is that while it's still meaningless to us fans, and it's even more meaningless to the players, it is meaningful to the players in the sense where bonuses and recognition and reputation relies on these Pro Bowl, awards, right? Or getting picked to be on the Pro Bowl team, right? This Philadelphia Eagles team did not have one single player finish in the top 5 of fan voting. Now, the way Pro Bowl voting works, 1/3 of the vote comes from the fan base, 1/3 from the players, 1/3 from a coach's vote, right? Fine. So this is fans. This is a popularity contest for 1/3 of it, right? Not one Philadelphia Eagle landed inside the top 6. Only one finished in 7th in voting, Cooper DeJean. Now, here's the thing. I know the season hasn't looked pretty, right? But you're telling me there's not one player on this Philadelphia Eagles team, the defending Super Bowl champions, right? The 10-5 defending Super Bowl champions who have won their division again. The 10-5 Eagles who have gone up against juggernaut team after juggernaut team. Been on prime time more than most teams. That not one Eagle player got top 5 voting in their position. And there's only really one reason why I bring this up. Because when I look at the 9 players that were voted with top 10 votes, right? Keely Ringo, 10th vote. 10th in voting on special teams. Dallas Goedert, 10th at tight end. Zach Bond, 10th in voting at linebacker. Jalen Hurts, 9th, and Landon Dickerson, 9th at their positions. And Cam Jurgens. Cam Jurgens didn't deserve any votes. Lane Johnson, 8th at tackle. Saquon, 8th running back. Cooper DeJean, 7th at cornerback. I got a big beef. Because there's one name. Well, there's two names, but one name massively glaring missing right there. And that's Quinion Mitchell. The fact that Quinion Mitchell is not one of the top 10 voted cornerbacks, even by the fans alone, I get it. He'll get votes from the players and coaches. The fact that Quinion Mitchell is not in the top 10 fan voting at cornerback is one of the most ludicrous things I've ever heard of. You can put Jordan Davis's name in this argument as well. Just goes to show that fans either A, hate the Eagles, or B, don't understand what good football is. Who's Jared? Look, I don't make the subtitles. I guess I can go in and edit the subtitles too. My apologies that the computer mistook the way I pronounced Jarrett McCain's name, Mitchie Poo. No, I do not edit the subtitles. If you watched any of the subtitles, you'd realize there's probably a lot of misspelled names in the subtitles. But anyway, the fact that Quinion Mitchell has gotten so little respect in that, arena, in the national recognition, in the fact that he is not going to, get the recognition he deserves from the fans. Why? Just because he doesn't have the interceptions. I think it's pretty crazy, right? It's crazy that a guy that's arguably the best cornerback in football is not where the voting needs to be. I'm looking at Defensive Player of the Year award right now. Odds-on favorite to win Defensive Player of the Year award, Myles Garrett at minus 20,000. Okay? The next closest guy is Broncos edge Nick Bonita at 55-1. There, you cannot even place a bet on DraftKings.com on Quinion Mitchell to win Defensive Player of the Year. They've got 15 names here. You cannot vote for Quinion Mitchell. How can you not vote for Quinion Mitchell to be Defensive Player of the Year? How is he not a top 10 voted cornerback? It's insane. I don't know. Maybe Kyle Lowry's better. Didn't the Eagles have a Jarrett work play? Maybe are we talking about which Jarrett are we talking? Are we talking Jeff Jarrett here? Got beef with NBA and the bullshit in-season bogus tournament. Yes, I got a big beef with how stupid that is. As well, Rick. Sold its soul for money to the United Arab Emirates. It bastardized its own championship. What are they doing? Ugly courts, fake title. Yeah, I mean, it's the first time. You got to give them credit, though, Rick. It's the first time New York Knicks have won a title in a while. Got to give them something, right? Yeah, and look, the NBA Cup tournament is dumb, stupid. And I agree with you 1,000%. The courts give me a headache when I watch a game, and those are the courts they're using. It's stupid. I don't have a beef with it. I mean, it's a money grab. I get it. And yes, they sold their soul. I don't know if I have a beef with it more so that it annoys the hell out of me. The more the NFL grow or die that goes on, the more viewers you get requiring mentoring. That is part of the problem. Maybe they just don't. I don't know if it's that or more to me and my philosophy that we're a stats and analytic and fantasy football and gambling type, world. And I know that on the offensive side, it's yards and things like that matter the most. Defensively speaking, Myles Garrett's the Defensive Player of the Year right now because he's got sacks, but his team stinks. And the MVP award might need to be less caring of stats and more about team record and team success versus the Defensive Player of the Year award. But come on now. The fact that Quinion Mitchell is so disrespected that you can't even give him 1,000,000 to 1 odds to win. It's kind of crazy. Don't piss Jeff Jarrett off. You won't like him when he's pissed off. I get a guitar smashed over my head. NBA itself has become a joke of itself. Yeah, absolutely. Agree with you on that. Good morning, Robert. How you doing on this fine Festivus morning? Good morning, Adam. No grievances with you, Adam. We're airing our grievances. If you've got a problem with a sports figure, a team, a manager, a media member, with me, this is your chance today to air those grievances. This is your chance to speak your mind. I got a grievance with Rick and his Tanner McKee nonsense. That's what I got. My biggest grievance in sports right now is the lack of respect for Quinion Mitchell. The way the media treats the Eagles nation and Eagles fans. And I got a grievance with Dave Dombrowski and how he's running this Phillies offseason. The Phillies offseason has been a disaster so far. The Phillies offseason is shaping up to make 2026 not be a fun Phillies season. The NBA's run by 6'5" walkie. But yeah. Is he 6'5"? Thought he was actually taller than that, to be honest with you. But yeah, he is. He's a goofball, that's for sure. It's all about the money, though. Good morning, Frank. How you doing this fine Festivus morning? Who else? Raise your hand. If you woke up this morning, looked out your window, and did not realize you'd be shoveling snow this morning. Now, it's not a lot of snow, but I got a grievance with the fact that no one told me it was going to snow last night. I had no clue I was going to be shoveling snow this morning. You're sick of all my bullshit. Well, this is your day to air your grievances. Have you got a problem with me? Let me know. I got a problem with you too, TMC, and all your out of left field random comments that I can't read because they don't make sense. Adam's got a grievance with Pump Man for his hate for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles team. Yes, that is true. I think a lot of people on a lot of channels have grievances to air with Pump Man. Because he doesn't just do that Hurts thing here. He does it everywhere. I'm pissed at Pump for not showing up after Good Place. Exactly. 100%. Guys, if you haven't, people are coming in late this morning. Like, subscribe, share. What's this? Grievance with Dave Dombrowski for making the bullpen worse again with nonsensical moves. I mean, that's not my only grievance with Dombrowski. Yes, he's weak in the bullpen, for sure. Weak in the bullpen. Hasn't improved the offense. Maybe made it worse. Didn't make any changes to the management of this team. So the message is going to be the same, which is that complacency is okay. That just winning is okay. I got a problem with John Middleton, a grievance, for allowing Dave Dombrowski to let the status quo be the same. No snow in Dover. Ugh, lucky you. I have a Friday, it's going to snow again. You have, or you heard Friday? Well, that sucks too. I don't need it to snow. I hate the snow. Let's check the weather. There's a little Friday morning. Damn it. Well, that's annoying. I have a grievance with the snow gods. Grievance with anybody who shit talks Nick Sirianni. The guy is the best head coach in Eagles history. 1,000% agree with this one, Rick. 1,000%. Nick Sirianni is the best head coach in Eagles history. He has proven it now for 5 years. The consistency he brings, the level-headedness, the emotion when necessary, The hugs when necessary. Nick Sirianni, I got grievances with anybody that calls him out. People calling him for his job 2 weeks ago. Ridiculous. Still pissed you sold the shop. A grievance on you. I am sorry, Adam. My happiness ruined yours. My apologies. No snow here in South Jersey. It's not a lot of snow. Maybe a half an inch. Still enough that I got to go shovel it. Ever watch the double doink again? Parkey actually does the right thing, kicking at the post, and then the breathe magically stops. Watch the flag at the top. Okay. What's that got to do with this? I have a grievance with fanboy John Middleton for hiring that fraud Andy Macco years ago, which led us to having to spend a bunch of money on free agents to this day. I got a lot of grievances with John Middleton because John Middleton talks the talk. What do I always talk about? I've talked about it with the Eagles this year, that the players have said talk the talk, but you got to walk the walk, right? John Middleton talks all about wanting his effing trophy back. John Middleton talks all about wanting to win a title, but his actions don't prove it at all. Grievances with the Flyers for not winning a Stanley Cup in 50 effing years. Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice for the Flyers or Sixers to win a title. Now, the Flyers might be a smidge closer than the Sixers. Maybe that's a little positivity speaking there. Clentek didn't want to sign Bryce Harper. Guy was a joke. Yeah, Clentek and McPhail were just bad. They were just bad. Grievances with the Sixers for not winning a championship in 40 years. I got a grievance with the Phillies for not winning one in 17 years. I have a grievance. I have no grievances and will not make any up. You're not mad at anybody. You're not unhappy with anybody. Even me. Even your neighbor's dog's cousin's brother. Middleton, all talk. Push all your chips in to win a championship. It's okay to buy a championship. Just ask the Dodgers. Yes. Why does everybody get so concerned? You can't buy a championship. You can't win a championship unless you have all homegrown players. No. If you don't got any homegrown players, you got to go buy them. Dodgers are trading prospects left and right. They got a great scouting department. They got a great development department because they always got prospects to trade for more stars to win another title. The Dodgers, Rick, and I don't know the exact answer to this. How many titles have they won in the last 10 years? How many times have they had a chance at a title? How many times have they even had a chance to get the championship, the NLCS? How many losing seasons have the Dodgers had in the last 10, 20 years? Not many. Buy as many championships as possible. I will enjoy every one of them. Me too. I'm more thinking even bigger picture than the last 5 years, right, Rick? Because I feel like, yes, they've had this little run here, but they had a run years ago too of just at least in contention. I have a grievance with Bryce Harper and his down year this season. I do have faith he'll have a bounce back this upcoming season, though. I actually think one good thing that Dave Dombrowski did was call Bryce Harper out. Whether he intentionally meant to or not, Bryce Harper, barring injuries, is pissed off. I'm going to do what he can do to return to that. Like, I think he actually got pissed off enough to, like, at least put the effort in to try to become an MVP again. I got a grievance with Bryce Harper also. He hasn't won a title in Philly yet. Really thought that February 2019 day, when it was announced Bryce Harper was coming to Philly, I just thought for sure we'd have a title by 2025. I really did think, Adam, by this point, the Phillies would have hoisted a championship in the Bryce Harper era. I really did. It's not all Bryce Harper's fault that we haven't, but he deserves some of the blame that we haven't, for sure. My team has been to Super Bowl 3 of the last 7 years, possibly 4, 8, 1, 2, and maybe 3. Yeah, that's one of your teams. Some of your other teams have not won anything. But does the Super Bowl wins for the Eagles, does that make it easier on us not to complain or feel bad about our other teams? To possibly, because we know this is a football city. Football's always one, everything else is always two, to the majority of fans. Does the Eagles' Super Bowl appearances and championships over the last decade make it easier to accept that the Phillies, Sixers, and Flyers have had different levels of failures over that same time frame? And massive differences in failure levels, obviously. Giants fans are quick to remind Dodgers fans that it's 3 in 6 years and not the 3 and 5 years they had. Yes, that's real beef. Really? Okay. I mean, it must be good to have that beef. We won 3 and 5 when you won 3 and 6. I have a grievance with modern day ketchup. Shit tastes like tomato water now. You know, that's a weird thing. It's like you're in my brain a little bit. Okay? As I saw a commercial, I was watching TV last night, and it was a Heinz ketchup commercial, an old school glass bottle with the ketchup slowly coming out of it. I was like, does ketchup even come classically in the old school glass bottles like that, where you got to pound the back of it to get it out or stick a butter knife in there? It's funny. I was just thinking of ketchup. What's up, Big Al? He's got a grievance with social media and media rage baiting. Absolutely. I got a problem with anybody on social media with their clickbait. I got a problem with the social media rage baiting. Someone was with a faceless account yesterday on Twitter, or not on Twitter. It was Twitter or was it on YouTube? It was on one of my platforms. One of the posts I made hyping up Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense, one of the posts I made hyping up the Eagles, period, and obviously it was a Cowboys fan, telling me, well, we whooped your ass 3 weeks ago. Good luck in the playoffs. Because they won one game in the regular season against us, out of 2, the Cowboys are clearly the better team and deserve our spot. I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to fall for it. Good luck enjoying your team. I hate the rage baiting. Cats up. Yeah, exactly. Rage baiting has become amusing to me. I giggle. They lose. Some of it is funny. The obvious rage baiting is funny to me as well, too. When you see some of the media people laugh after they say something nonsensical, knowing that they don't believe what they actually say. I agree, Nooms. It is comical sometimes. Another grievance I have is with Embiid. Just retire and allow the Sixers to move forward. I don't know if Joel Embiid would leave that money on the table. There's a lot of money on the table, Soldier Steve. Yes, I want him to retire too, to let the team move forward. But on the flip side, it'd be very hard to leave $200 million sitting on the table. Yeah, Big Al. The idiots that fall for it for sure. And we all fall for it at Big Al. I'm not immune to falling for it occasionally. You are not either. Now, that same rage bait that you hate gives me counter information or counter content to make fun of them on this channel with, which I do like. But, yeah. My bigger grievance, you get those nitwit Cowboys Twitter accounts. Always targeting Eagles fans for engagement. But when you share it and comment, you quote tweet it, you're just making them money. There was that one Cowboys account. It actually got shut down for something inappropriate recently. The dude would always, well, I assume it was a dude, Ernie or Ernest or something like that, always rage bait us, Eagles fans. It was basically probably an Eagles fan pretending to be a Cowboys fan, to be honest, just to rage bait us. He was making big-time money on that account. Always sat back and smiled with all the social media Twilight Zone of the world. It's all entertainment to me. My biggest issue with the social media rage baiting is the fans that fall for it, but B, when it's the bigger names that create it. You know, we grew up, Rick, Al, Steve, Noobs, in an era where we looked at the people on the radio and respected them, respected their opinions, wanted to call up, get on the air once a week to say something, ask a question, give an opinion, and hear their response. But the media in general has evolved to a point where they have to clickbait, rage bait to make money. And I don't respect a majority of them. Sorry about that. Excuse me. I want to respect the media people again. I do. And there are some really good media people out there. Oh. Thought I was feeling better, Steve. Now all of a sudden it's all coming out again. I have a grievance with all the medication commercials. While the tunes may be catchy, I can't stand that there's 1,000 different kinds of... Yeah, I know. Absolutely agree with you on that. We were watching Yellowstone reruns the other night, late at night. And every commercial break was 3 Paxlovid commercials. And whatever, I'm not making this about COVID, but I don't need 3 commercials, every set of commercials of the same thing. Yeah, thank you. Muchas gracias. I got a grievance with the lady that gave me this cold. I know who it is and when it came and where it came from. And I told her. Well, my wife told her. And she laughed. Like, probably. It took her 5 days to get over it. It's going to take me 5. This is only day 3 or 4. Got to get rid of it by Christmas. That's the goal. I am not since vacation or retirement or whatever this hiatus from work is, because I have time to brew a whole pot of coffee. So I'm back on regular coffee, but I still do drink the mushroom coffee. The mushroom coffee definitely has its perks. Couldn't find a mushroom coffee to sponsor. I didn't really try that hard, but maybe I should try a little harder now that I got free time to find a mushroom coffee, brand to sponsor this show. I got a grievance with everybody that doesn't hit the like button, everybody that hasn't subscribed, everybody that doesn't share this out. I got a grievance with you people. I got a grievance with the people that have kept me from getting to my goal of 1,000 this year. Always pissed when people come in the bar sick, stay the F home, and drink. Yeah, exactly. It was a different situation. But anyway, I won't get into it. Anyway. Back to the point, though, Rick. Was it Rick? No. It was Rick and Big Al. We used to look at our media and respect them so much. Eagles Girl, I started about a year ago. We went on Cuppa and got their supply of it. Made major improvements in a lot of areas in my life. I enjoyed it thoroughly. The only problem with mushroom coffee is you can only brew one little cup through the Keurig at a time. Like, I can't brew a whole pot of mushroom coffee. It's like instant coffee. So I got to find one where I could buy it and, make, a pot at a time. Because now that I'm semi-retired, or temporarily retired, I need more than 1 cup of coffee. Got a grievance with those not sharing, and subscribing. Yeah, me too. It shouldn't be that hard. We complain. So many people, Rick, complain about what's on the radio. Well, it's pretty easy. Turn the radio off. Turn YouTube up or Spotify or iTunes up. You can literally take your phone and plug it in your car. That's what I got. I got a grievance with Jake Elliott. What the hell? Google just picked up on my phone. I actually don't have a grievance with Jake Elliott, Mitch. I actually love that Nick Sirianni's putting his confidence in Big D Jake Elliott, that he's still the kicker of the Eagles. That's the right decision. Jake Elliott has made more big clutch kicks in Eagles history than anybody else. He's kicked in 3 Super Bowls and kicked well. You're not going to get someone cold off the street that's going to do a better job than Jake Elliott. Give him the 2 weeks to get it right. Do I take Brock Purdy serious? Watched the game last night, and he made some really good throws. I don't know how well he would do against the Eagles secondary, though. Well, I take him seriously because he's got a system built around him that's effective. He's not asked. He's kind of like Jalen Hurts. Not asked to throw 300 yards every game. Can he? Sure. Doesn't have to. Got a great running back. I know CMC's numbers are down this year, but they're not really. He's still close to 2,000 all-purpose yards. I worry. Now, with the 49ers win last night, they have bumped up to the 5 seed. The Rams have fallen down to the 6 seed. So if the playoffs start today, we'd be hosting the Rams again, not the 49ers. I think the biggest thing with the Eagles now is to no longer worry about, do we get the 2, 3, 4 seed? It's who's the matchup we want. I don't want to face the 49ers. Our run defense against CMC, I don't like it. I don't like our odds. And then Vic Fangio's going to have to do something that might put our secondary at risk. Bring an extra guy in the box or whatever. A spy for CMC. I fear the 49ers, and I fear the Rams in the playoffs. They're the only 2 teams I fear. Or slightly fear. Good morning, Warfighter. We are airing our grievances with Philadelphia sports today. In honor of Festivus. We can't have a feats of strength on a computer screen. I was going to grab my Festivus poll, but I can't reach that far back. I have a grievance with paying bills, too. Especially when you got no income coming in, Big Al. Think about that. I got bills to pay. I got no money. Purdy is for real. I would take Purdy over a decent amount of quarterbacks in the NFL. Would I put him in my top 10 right now? I don't know. But let me think about this real quick. I'm just going to go through it. When I take him, Purdy, I would take him over Trevor Lawrence and Aaron Rodgers. I would take him over whatever the Colts got going on. I would take him over whatever the Chiefs got going on. Now, I would take him over Tua. Yeah, obviously over the Jets and the Titans options and Browns and Raiders options. I would take Purdy over Sam Darnold. I would take him over Caleb Williams. I would take him over Bryce Young. I would take Purdy over J.J. McCarthy. I would take Purdy over Baker Mayfield. I would take Purdy over Dak Prescott, over Falcons, Kirk Cousins, and Michael Penix, and obviously over what Seattle's got and with what the Cardinals got and the Giants got. So, yeah, Brock Purdy to me, top 10, 12 quarterback in football. I only drink 1 cup a day. I was drinking 2 little cups a day for about 4 months straight. I felt better in my gut. My anxiety came down. The jitter crash in the afternoon went away. Loved it. It's just too expensive when you drink 2, 3 cups a day now that I'm unemployed. Google's always listening. My biggest grievance is that the Eagles don't get under center more. You know, there was an interesting piece from Johnny Page from the Eagles Pinball Podcast Network. I think it was on the Bleeding Green Nation website about all the empty formations that I was hyping up that the Eagles were running on Sunday. Shotgun empty formations. And while we don't like it, how effective they were because the way they did it was different. I don't care if they're under center or not. We see that it works, Warfighter, and so they should do it. I just want to see them be creative with whatever they do. So with whatever they do, it keeps the defense guessing. I'm an idiot, okay? To be brutally honest with you. I know nothing about X's and O's on football. I'm a fan. I'm a casual, okay? I'm a diehard casual. When Nooms shouts out plays and certain, keys and tendencies, I don't see that stuff. So when I can call a play out, when I see a formation, that's predictable, right? What am I missing? Didn't Elliott put it all together in the chat? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the problem that I have with the people calling for the Eagles to bring. I have a grievance with the people saying to cut Jake Elliott and bring in Justin Tucker because that just sounds like an idiotic idea, in my opinion. That's where my grievance comes from. I got a grievance with the systematic poisoning of our food. Yeah, look, that's getting way too deep for what. And so is that getting way too deep, Rick. But yeah, I'm worried about the Rams only because we have beaten them 4 times in a row. Exactly. You know, we had a grievance. We had the Bucks. The Bucks had our number, right, War Fighter? We finally got them back this year. Well, we've had the Rams number for a while now. At some point, the Rams are going to get us back. I hope it's not this year in the playoffs, but I'm concerned about it. At least there is an option now. It was all poison 40 years ago. Yeah. Anyway, my grievance is that diabetes. Yeah, exactly. Check my grievance is with people that don't check their blood sugar, right? I think we are going to get a nice type playoff type atmosphere game this weekend versus Buffalo. Yes, absolutely. The Bills have stuff on the line. We both teams have playoff seeding on the line this week. Do the Bills still have a chance at the division? I guess the Bills still have a chance at their division, right? Yeah, the Bills still have a chance at their division. So, yeah, this game's still meaningful for both teams. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun one on Sunday against Buffalo. And I think it's going to be cold and maybe snowing. Watch the game from the center. Don't follow the ball. You will learn so much more with your own eyes. And I do, and I try to watch. I watch all of Shane Haff and Johnny Page and what they do on the Pinball Network, all their play breakdowns. And I do learn a lot. I don't retain a lot of what they say, though. Like, I watch it, I understand what they're saying, but it doesn't stick in the brain. So when I watch a game the next time, I can call it out right away. So the Chargers use the I formation. It reminded me how much I missed it. I love the I formation, too, Warfighter. That's a classic old-school football play. It just doesn't get used enough. I think a lot of people will have a grievance with the amount of starters that play this week. I know I will. Well, it'll be a playoff atmosphere, like you say. I'm not playing anybody. I'd be literally resting our entire team for 2 weeks. I don't care if we get the 2, 3, or 4 seed. That's just my opinion. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but that's just my opinion. I hope any major grievance, if the Eagles play any starters versus Washington, yeah, for the last game, you better not, right? Without a doubt. Without a doubt. But I wouldn't play some of those guys this week. Because is there that much of a difference? I love watching Baldy break down tape. Yeah, you know, Brian Baldy, I love watching. He breaks down a lot of offensive line and blocking, and I love watching that. Baldy does do a great job. Warfighter, I'm sure you see the short Eagles video I drop every day, Eagles Check Down, and there's a logo on it for the pinball. I record it for their audio channels. But they also have a YouTube channel and social media account, the Eagles Pinball Podcast Network, and they do great film breakdown on that channel. Shane Haff and company, the main guys on that channel, they do a great job of breaking down the film, the All-22s. Everyone doesn't always agree with their opinions, but their film breakdown is always top-notch. I missed the show Shameless. I never watched Shameless. Isn't that a Showtime show? Yeah, I don't. Whatever channel it's on, I don't get it. I have agreements with baseball writers for keeping steroid guys out and guys who are ass wipes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay? Everybody that votes for the Hall of Fame. Did you see the one guy that made his ballot announced and known to the public? He voted for just Jimmy Rollins and Chase Utley, and that was it. Like, I get it. I get it. If you think those two are Hall of Famers. But you can't tell me they're the only 2 Hall of Famers on that ballot. And I agree. The mission statement for the Hall of Fame for baseball, to preserve the history of the game. Kurt Schilling not being in the Hall of Fame. Aren't you hiding history? Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens not in the Hall of Fame. Hiding history? To me, it's wrong. Baldy is great. He is. I have DM'd him like 4 times to come on this show, and not even a response from the guy. Eagles Pinball Podcast Network, okay? You'll see the Eagles check down on it. and some other stuff. Shane Haff, he's the main guy. They're basically the main guys that do it are a bunch of guys that when Bleeding Green used to have a podcast channel, do podcasts on there. Then when the Bleeding Green canceled their podcast network, they started Pinpull. So you want to check them out. I loved Baldy until I saw him doing the same stuff for other teams and talking shit on the Birds. Well, I didn't know he ever talked shit on the Birds. I do know he does the film breakdown for other teams because we consider him an Eagles guy, but he's more a national media guy. He's like Rob Motti. Eagles in the heart, but you got to cover the national stuff as well. I did not know he badmouths the Eagles, though. Never seen that part of it. Guys, if you haven't, we've only got 14 likes on this video so far. Hit the like button, subscribe, share. I've got a grievance with you if you have not done that yet. This is the airing of grievances right now. Votes are low today. Right? Which team do you have the most grievances with? Eagles, Phillies, Sixers, Flyers. Phillies are number one. Not surprised. That's the right answer. Eagles, shockingly, are number two. Sixers, 3. Flyers, 4th on the poll voting right now. I've had the great opportunity to work with Baldy and learn from him. Great dude. Loves to travel. Yeah. So far, I haven't. If you know him, I've tried to hit that boy up. He's never hit me back. But yeah, you see, I love. He moved to Arizona, so I've tried to convince him to do a show in the morning. It's just too early. Maybe now that I've got free time, I could get a pre-recorded night show with him. Jeremy Bridges, former Eagles offensive lineman. I've done some show work with him in the past. Just because I love hearing offensive linemen talk about offensive line play. I always have been brought up in the thought process that you win with your offensive and defensive line. When my dad was teaching me football back in the 80s, offensive line. So I love listening to Baldy talk and cover stuff. Full disclosure by the government about aliens, a grievance allowed to be talked about. Well, we don't talk about the government on this show. But aliens? Maybe we can. Maybe we can talk about aliens. He's got to butter his bread for sure, but JFC, dude, what? He's got to butter his bread and but I don't understand that. What am I missing on that comment, Noobs? I'm not sure. Mitchie Pooh's got a grievance with the Phillies choking in the playoffs always. Yeah, and that's why I'm not shocked that the Phillies are number one voted on our poll today so far, right? The Phillies are the biggest disappointment in Philly sports right now. And the problem with the Phillies is it's all this and nothing else. Dave Dombrowski, John Middleton tell us their ability to win all the time, yet disappoint us even more. They tell us one thing and then do another. The only thing that they've been honest about in the last 2 years is that they're not going to raise their payroll anymore. And they're proving that with their actions. So at least finally the Phillies are doing something that matches their words. Did they release the info that aliens are real and no one really cared? I don't know. I believe there's obviously aliens out there. And we're aliens to them. I have a grievance with the City Connect jerseys. They suck. Hold on. The Phillies blue? I love the blue City Connect. But I also, if you pay attention to the show, 90% of the shirts I wear on this are blue because blue's my color. I miss seeing John Runyon and Andy Delmore at the Pennant East. Those dudes can drink. I haven't really met too many Eagles in my life. I've met and hung out and drank with a lot of Phillies and other athletes before, but not Philadelphia Eagles. So that's interesting. I don't even know what the Pennant East is. Good morning, Duck. How you doing? I'm guessing still in D.C., but glad you're checking in. I hope you're having a good morning. Phillies are red and blue and white and maroon and black. Well, is there any black in any Philly uniforms? I love the City Connect blue. Okay? I also love the powder blue. As much as I hate the Kelly green, I love the blues of the Phillies. Duck has a grievance with everybody. I have a grievance that Duck is waiting till 8:50 to check in on this show today. No, good. Back home for the holidays. 76ers choking in the second round every year sucks. The Flyers missing the playoffs 8-11 years sucks. Get it together, losers. Yeah. Look, it's airing grievances. So you're allowed to be negative today. This is the one day I'm allowing negativity on this show. Because, yeah, I mean, the Sixers, I would love to see the Sixers choke in the second round again. Because at least it means they got to the second round. They haven't done that in a few years now. We can't complain about the Sixers choking in the second round anymore. Because they don't even do that anymore. My one day I will be slightly negative. Yes, you're allowed to be. Negative Nancy. I'm never negative Nancy. But it's Festivus, baby. Mitchie Poo. Who would win, guys? I should do a new poll question. Who would win in the feats of strength? Me or Mitchie Poo? They missed the playoffs last year, and they lost in the first round to the Knicks the year before that. So they haven't gotten to the second round to choke in 2 years, is what I was saying. I have a grievance with the MLB and how its offseason progresses. It's a goddamn snooze fest. It is. It really is. You don't hear, like, you barely know when free agency begins, and it's just kind of just so quiet. So simple and quiet. It is. I'm actually pulling back a grievances. Patullo was not the issue on Saturday. It was implementation. I don't think I got a problem with anybody from Saturday, except for Jake Elliott. I said it, and I got crushed saying it on Twitter. I'll say it here. The Eagles' offense has been better for not 2 weeks, 3 weeks. The Eagles' offense was better. Kevin Patullo was better in the Chargers game. It just coincided with Jalen Hurts' worst game as a professional. Going back to the Chargers game, you can see glimpses of steps forward from this Eagles offense. You can. So I give a major round of applause to Kevin Patullo and how he's adjusted when everybody's calling for his job. Mitch wins feats of strength. What? Get the F out of here. What the fuck is that? No. I'd take you all down. You know why? Because I learned from the GOAT, Ric Flair. I learned from Eddie Guerrero, lie, cheat, steal. The dirtiest player in the game. I don't fight fair. I fight dirty. Because all that matters in a fight is just like all that matters in a football game. Just win, baby. One time I was at a club in Cherry Hill at the bar. I glanced at the left and see 3 trees. Kendall Gill, Keith Van Horn. Looked so out of place. Yeah. Grievances with Washington head coach for acting like a little. Yeah, absolutely. And now we got to worry about headhunting in week 18, right? NFL just owns everything. There's never a news cycle where they don't dominate and there's no space for, yeah, that's true. That's true. Woo! Yeah, that's right. Yep. The GOAT, no. I put him on my Mount Rushmore, Mitchie Poo. I did. Unpopular, but I did. I'm a huge John Cena guy. I always have been. But I also enjoy the way he went out as well. For sure. I really worry about this, Rick. I really worry about the Washington game week 18. I worry about a rivalry game where they're making up an excuse to have a beef with the Eagles, which I don't think they need to have. Actually, there was conversations and videos made about why it was the right analytic move to still go for 2 in that spot. I think it's grasping at straws from Dan Quinn to fire up his team for the last week or two. Road Warriors, a Legion of Doom, Goats of tag teams. Yeah, I never put together my Mount Rushmore of tag teams before. I gotta think about that. I do. I gotta think about that. That's why no starters can play week 18. None. 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 What's up, Jose? Happy Festivus to you. I got grievances with Jose. Jose only tunes in like once every other week, once every 3 or 4 weeks. That's my grievance with you, Jose. I need to see that Padre Philip comment every day. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays to everybody. Yes, I do normalize saying Merry Christmas. I celebrate Christmas, so I say Merry Christmas. Steiner Brothers would be on the top. I would have to like build like a list of 10 or 12 names and then whittle it down. Steiners are great. The New Age Outlaws. Obviously the Dudleys, the Hardys, the Rockers, the Steiners, yes. There's so many. Harlem Heat. I was a huge Harlem Heat guy. Have a grievance against Netflix for lying and not giving us all the episodes of Raw. Yeah, I watched John Cena's retirement show. It was the first wrestling I'd watched in so long. And honestly, I haven't had a thought to watch it since. Yeah, Bushwhackers would be on that. Well, not really, but yeah. We don't want some of our plays coming off injury to get a few snaps to get right. I wouldn't be playing Lane Johnson or Jalen Carter this week. I would consider sitting Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley this week. I know everybody wants the 2 seed or to lock in the 3 seed. I know there's a chance that we fall to the 4 seed. But you don't win shit in the playoffs without those guys being healthy and out there. Dude, Hardy's GOAT. The Hardys might be the GOAT just for their longevity, their evolution constantly from different eras, their success as single stars, then going back to tag team. The Hardys might be the greatest tag team of all time. I was a huge Booker T fan. From Harlem Heat through his was it the TV title or the US title? His best of 7 series with Chris Benoit in WCW. Huge Booker T fan. The Rock and Sock connection was great. Hard to experience the Attitude Era without the all Raw episodes. Road Dogg and Billy Badass. Yeah, dude, not the greatest wrestlers, but one of the most over tag teams of all time. JC and LJ do need dust. No, I disagree 1,000% that Lane Johnson and Jalen Carter need to knock rust off. Okay, Jalen Carter is supposed to be the next Aaron Donald to an extent. Okay, if you're as elite as you think you are, you don't need to knock rust off. You need to be healthy and then just ball out. Lane Johnson is a first ballot, arguably unanimous Hall of Famer. Okay, arguably one of the 2 or 3 greatest right tackles of all time. If he needs to knock rust off, then I got to reevaluate my opinion on him. The dude's too great. He doesn't need to knock rust off. The dude's done this for 15 years or more. He's fine. Maybe Jalen Carter. But Lane doesn't. Got a question. As soon as you saw the Jalen Hurts to Dallas Goedert touchdown, what did that play remind of? I'm not sure. Was it supposed to remind me of something? I don't know. Maybe you answer what it reminded you of, because I just saw a great touchdown, a great throw, a great catch, a well-designed route concept because there were other people moving, freeing up him. So there's a lot that went through my head on that. I didn't think of a previous play, though. Power Team USA Blade Runners, the team of Sting and the Ultimate Warrior. People don't know that. People don't know that they teamed up briefly. Oh, maybe this is a good thing today. Because while I thought I felt better, it's all actually coming out of my system today. I don't think you appreciate just how much work goes into all this. I do. And I know you can't replicate game in practice. But I don't think You need to. So, yeah, you can't replicate game. I get that. But a meaningless week 18 rep, I don't think it matters. I don't think you're going to get that much better than in practice. The catch made that's a big moment, that catch by Montana and Clark. And as soon as you said it, I could see the similarities with Dallas Goedert having to go up and jump to make that grab. Man, I don't know if I put it into that same category, Jose. I see the similarities in the physical play itself, but the moment, I don't know. You can try, but you can't replicate game speed. And I get that. But I have faith in Lane Johnson being able to get up to game speed within 2 plays of action. The dude's a vet. He doesn't need to get up to game speed. All year, me and you have been on the same page about getting these guys healthy. And now, you're willing to risk that health? I'm not. Sorry, Bucks fan. I was cheering for you guys, okay? I was cheering for you guys. I was. I guess you still got a chance. You're not completely out of it, but you got to win out now. Starters play first half this week, and then no starters next week. I like that. Give the starters half a game. I'm not risking nothing. I could care less whether I'm the 2 or 3 seed. Eagles seeding pers. I know that's why they're playing their starters. But to me, I'm not worried about it. It just reminded me. I get it, and I guess I see some similarities in the jump, and he didn't catch it cleanly and stuff like that. I get it. Is Goddard a Pro Bowler this season? I mean, he better be. We already talked about it and how I have a grievance with fan voting for the Pro Bowl, that we don't have a single Eagle inside the top 7 in fan voting, that Quinion Mitchell's not on the list at all, whereas Dallas Goedert is 10th in tight end voting right now for fans. Pathetic. The dude started in the NFL in touchdown catches, and he's 10th voted tight end. Goes to show that the fans don't know how to vote for anything. It only takes one slip up on a missed assignment for Hurts to be on his ass with a separated shoulder. That's why I'm not playing Jalen Hurts either till the playoffs. And I get it. I get what you're saying. I'm taking my chances. I want those guys 100% healthy, not 98% healthy. Lane and JC will be even better with as much rest and recovery as possible. I think they'll be better by resting than playing. I don't want my players getting hurt in a game that how meaningful is it really? We have had our biggest issue has been health this year of certain key players. I want those guys to be 100% healthy in 3 weeks when we take on the Rams, the 49ers, whoever it may be. Yeah. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a really tough assignment to figure out financials on a Dallas Goedert contract. Nobody wanted him last offseason, so he was able to come back here. But this year, with the season he's having, and knock on wood, stayed relatively healthy, there's going to be a lot of suitors for Dallas Goedert. About seeding. I know it's about seeding. I still don't do it. I don't care about seeding. There are so many other pieces that need to be paid. I don't either. I find it very hard to find where they're going to get that money for Dallas Goedert. Considering what did Mark Andrews get? 3 years, $48 million. Now I know Dallas Goedert's not Mark Andrews level reputation wise, but you got to think that if Mark Andrews got $48 million, Dallas Goedert, it's got to be up for a 3-year, $30 million contract at least. Will the Eagles do that? I don't know. How he's a cap genius, he will find a way. He's got a lot of genius work to do this offseason. Man, I'm trying to trooper through here for you guys today. He has the most touchdowns at a tight end, even with the injuries Goedert has had. Think about how amazing that is. It is. And the fact that he's not even in the top 10 of fan voting. It's crazy. The fact that Jalen or Jordan Davis and Quinion Mitchell are not in the top 10 in fan voting this year. That's where my grievances lie. Buffalo's been messing with us this year. I think we need to spank their asses. The only Buffalo's been messing with us is TMC, who's not even in the chat today. DG will get the Jake Elliott money when he's released after the season. We'll see. Now, if Jake Elliott doesn't recover, doesn't figure it out, and Jake Elliott has a bad playoff run, then maybe, yes. But I have faith that Jake Elliott will figure it out by the playoffs and in the playoffs. And in that case, Jake Elliott's not released. He's extended or renegotiated to free up cap space maybe. But unless he has an awful playoffs, Jake Elliott will be here next year. He will be. My grievance is these freaking ticket prices. Trying to go to the Eagles-Bills since I'm less than an hour away. Those things are running close. It's snowing probably up there. And they're going for $400. Ticket prices in general in sports. And damn, that sucks, man. That you have a chance to see your Eagles. And you can't. Unless you want to pay, skip your mortgage payment this month, right? Sports prices are out of control. And Jose, I said this yesterday on the show. I think we were talking about the Phillies when I said this. How the hell do people afford all the games they go to? All those Eagles season ticket holders. People that go to all those Phillies playoff games 2-3 times a year. What are they doing? I'm not poor. I mean, I owned a business and made money for the last 18 years. I bought a house. Where do people come up with the money to go to all the sporting events that they go to and concerts a year? They got to be in so much credit card debt. Sports tickets and concert tickets and entertainment tickets have gotten out of control. Eagles already have a huge amount of money on the offense. The defense needs to be paid. It's got to be balanced out. That's going to be a problem. Buffalo tried to get the tush-push banned and kidnap Darius Slay, and they run the tush-push more than anybody else. No chance Elliott is back next year. He's been one of the worst regular season kickers over 2 years. Oh, I know the numbers, Rick. But he's also arguably the greatest kicker in Eagles history. He also has made big kicks when it matters most. What do you care more about? A guy that you can trust kicking a field goal November 16th at 3 p.m. or a guy you can trust kicking a field goal in February with the money on the line? I trust Elliott in the big moments. They were a great short-lived tag team, Bach, for sure. Absolutely. Kane had a lot of great random, him and X-Pac, him and Daniel Bryan. Wasn't he a tag team partner with the Hurricane for a moment, too? Used cheat ticket websites. Yeah, it sucks. Anywhere you go, ticket prices are expensive. Everyone talks Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts does not block. Kyle Pitts is going to be expensive. Will Howie Roseman spend that big money? I don't know if he will. Cutting and releasing Elliott will cost us. We got enough other cap issues to worry about. Well, they have some cap space. They're going to lose more cap space depending on. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I find the Hurricane to be an extremely entertaining. Yeah, he was funny. I would rather keep Goddard over Pitts, honestly. Not saying one's better than the other, just saying Goddard we know what we get, Pitts we don't. Pitts really, honestly, has Kyle Pitts been unimpressive? I know you got Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix, and the Falcons are a weird organization. They don't know how to build a team. But based off of his draft status, shouldn't he have been a better career so far than this? Like, it's crazy, the hype Kyle Pitts gets. He does got that Atlanta stink on him. He does need a new city, but I don't know if I'm going to pay I'm pretty sure his pedigree and his reputation is what's going to be paid for not the results he's put on the field. I don't know if I'm just using this as an example, and I don't know. Mark Andrews went for 3 for 45, whatever the number was. Say Dallas Goedert's worth 3 for 30. Are you going to pay 3 for 40 for Pitts over 3 for 30 for Goddard? You also have Isaiah Likely or whatever his name is, the Ravens tight end. He's a free agent. He's going to command decent money as well. I keep Dallas Goedert over going Kyle Pitts, in my opinion. Yeah, Jake Elliott will be a candidate to have his contract renegotiated, extend it, bring the cap hit down versus just an outright release. I would be shocked if they take that cap hit on their kicker. Because, again, he comes up big when it matters most so far. Now, if he goes out there and misses a huge kick in January, we don't get back to the Super Bowl, then I could say it. But that's it. You're paying way too much for someone who only does half of what you need from that position. I got to look this up here real quick. Jake Elliott contract, because I got to see what the post-June 1st cut or number is as well here, because that's just as important as anything else. So you got a potential out in 2026, $6.49 million cap hit, but nope, that's the wrong year. Nope, it's not letting me click anymore. I guess there's limits on Spot Track. Nope, there you go. Nope, not working. Oh, well. I tried to click the button to see if there was a reduced cap hit if you cut him post-June 1st, but my computer's not allowing me to click that button, but whatever. Anyway, there's going to be plenty of tough conversations for Howie Roseman to have in the offseason. But I'm not worried about the offseason. If I had a grievance, it'd be with the people that are worried about the offseason when we're on the cusp of the playoffs. The offseason's not here. We've got to get this Eagles team healthy. We got to get this Eagles team ready for now, for another run. Not worry about next week or next year. Hurts would rather keep Goddard over AJ. Goddard doesn't bitch and moan. Yeah, I think the Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown drama is overblown. But if Jalen Hurts has any say, kind of like a Bryce Harper has with the Phillies, right? If Howie Roseman went to Jalen Hurts and said, you got Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert. You only can keep 3 of the 4. Who are you letting go? Would he let go A.J. Brown first out of all of them? I think he would. That's crazy. What's up, Bruce? Good morning to you. Happy Festivus. So trade AJ, keep Goddard, and look for the replacement in the draft. It's a possibility. The problem with trading AJ Brown is the return value, Duck, because you can't get a 2026 draft pick for AJ Brown, because you know how you can cut post June 1st and you can do it ahead of time. You can't trade with a June 1st designation. So you can cut a guy on May 1st, but designate it June 1st so you have that money for free agency. You can't trade a guy before the draft, but post it post June 1st to save that cap money. So you'd be getting a 2027 draft pick for him. The Eagles may be the only team to repeat as division champions in the NFL this year, which I think speaks for itself. It does. It really does, Steve. It's crazy to think about. But yet here we are. All you ever hear is the negative about the Eagles. And that's a grievance of mine. I feel the Phillies could have done more in getting another good free agent who could help this team. Now, look, free agency's not over, Bruce. You still got pretty much all the big names out there. Cody Bellinger, Kyle Tucker, Bo Bichette's name still floating around. The Japanese kid is still floating around. There are still big names out there. But the Phillies have set them up in a position, Alec Bregman. They've set themselves in a position where they don't have the money because they don't want to spend the money. to go get another guy. And yes, they could have done more. They could have spent more. Buffalo had heavy snowfall overnight, but the weather is crazy mild for this time of year in upstate New York. I hate upstate New York. Went up there once. Girl I dated at the time's grandmother lived up there, so we flew up there to visit. That was 4 inches of snow, and everybody was like, the world did not stop for 4 inches of snow. I think it was Rochester, or we flew into Rochester and then drove somewhere else. One thing we never asked for, the offense to use its third and fourth wide receivers more. Dotson had 3 catches on Saturday against the Commanders. His revenge game, right? But yeah, we don't use those third and fourth receivers. And if they maybe focused on the third and fourth receiver a little bit more, would it open up more for the other people? Maybe. Would it give defenses something else to think about? Possibly. Then we get the 27 draft capital. We still have tons of picks this season. I get it. I just want to make sure people understand trading A.J. Brown is not helping the 2026 Eagles team, except for the financial impacts. Trading A.J. Brown, you've got to replace him in 2026, but you don't get the draft capital to do that till 2027. So would I. But the odds are we won't. Great quarterbacks know how to spread it around. Maybe that's my one Hurts grievance. Doesn't he need to spread it around? You know, when you've got very few great quarterbacks have 2 great wide receivers, right? Tom Brady spread it around because he only had one great wide receiver for like 2 years. Joe Montana had Jerry Rice and John Taylor, right? You don't know his third wide receiver. Well, you might, Nooms. But Peyton Manning didn't have 3 great wide. Didn't spread around, but he didn't have 2 great wide receivers. You know, with the weapons they have, with the top heaviness that they have, I think spreading it around, well, I think it would open up the offense. I think it's an overrated little thought process there. I thought it was over at the end of the winter meeting, so thank you. Now, off-season doesn't end until the season starts. Bregman would be good. I guess I would accept Bregman at this point. Well, Brady in Tampa, he had at least 2 great wide receivers. I was more thinking about Brady with the Patriots, but yeah, I get you. We won those playoff games by also using Dotson. I'm sure it will happen again when it has to happen. Exactly. I do enjoy that they opened it up a little bit on Saturday, threw him the ball a few times, because it does give defenses something else to think about. Zero interest in trade. I have zero desire to trade A.J. Brown. I do. I understand financially it might have to happen. I doubt it happens because of personal beefs or personal issues. The Eagles would be silly. A.J. Browns do not grow on trees. But nobody had 3 great. But those that had 2 great wide receivers, nobody knows their third wide receiver. Bengals had 2 great wide receivers. Yeah, they did. What's that got in them? Chase and Higgins, man. It's a great duo right there. But can anybody name the third wide receiver in Cincinnati? No. Anyway, we're about 10 minutes from the 90-minute mark of this show, guys. If you haven't, hit the like button, the subscribe button, the share button. Final 10 minutes of airing of grievances, because back tomorrow is Christmas Eve. Okay? I believe in the miracle of Christmas. Okay? I do. So tomorrow, we'll be talking about Philly sports miracles that we want to see happen versus airing our grievances. So, or what do you want under your Philadelphia sports Christmas tree will be tomorrow. This is your last chance to grieve or give grievances out. Did you see Old Man Rivers slinging it last night? I'm just glad he survived with getting put in ICU. Look, good for him. Everyone jokes he needed the money. He needed the health insurance. He gets 5 more years of NFL health insurance for all those kids. Look, good for Philip Rivers. I still find it weird that the Colts went with a guy that's been retired for almost 5 years versus anybody else out there. But, it didn't work out for them. The Colts went from 7-1 to 8-7. Here's a question. We don't want to lose, or we still want to move on from Kevin Patullo. I don't necessarily, but most do. Most wanted to see Shane Steichen get fired and fail so he could come back here. I know there's been injuries and their cornerback got hurt. Does Shane Steichen get the blame and get fired for a 7-1 collapse despite the injuries? I don't know. Montana got it to Rathman, Craig, Mike Wilson, Tom Rathman. Wow. Tom Rathman, there's a player that I haven't thought of in a while. Rivers was looking like Uncle Rico. Hey, good for him. Tomorrow will be a short show. All Philly teams win chips every year for the next 5 years. We got to go a little bit more specific than that, but yes. Even with 2 great wide receivers, you usually get 30-plus receptions from your wide receiver. Okay? The Christmas miracle. Yeah, exactly. The woman owner ain't letting Shane go. What? Oh. The Colts owner isn't letting Shane Steichen go. Yes. I doubt it. I doubt you fire the coach. I doubt you fire the coach at this point, but maybe. Just thinking about it. Don't you got to put blame on somebody? 7-1 to 8-7. That's a collapse. That's like when the Eagles started 7-2 and lost 7 in a row. Yeah, Warren Moon, Jeffries, Givens, Duncan. None of those guys. I remember using the Oilers all the time in Tecmo Super Bowl because of their run and shoot offense. All right? With Moon and these guys. None of those guys were anywhere close to A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith good, just so you know. My grievance is with the Flyers not able to win the shootouts. They lost plenty because of that. The Flyers on the poll, and it's not been a huge show viewership-wise either. Only 23 votes, but only 4% voted Flyers that people have grievances with. I would say if I had a grievance with the Flyers, that it took them so long to find even a competent regular goaltender in Vlad the Destroyer. Keep trotting guys like Urson out there. Got a grievance with whatever's going on with Matvei Michkov. I don't even know what's going on with him. Phillies obviously have the most grievances. Still shocked that the Eagles have more grievances than the Sixers on the poll question, guys. I am kind of shocked about that. I just don't know if 5-2 in shootouts this year. Are they? So yeah, I trusted Jose's comments that they're not doing good. Shows how much I'm paying attention to the Flyers. I try. All I know is the Flyers. If I had a grievance, big picture with the Flyers, we talk about the Sixers and their struggles. We talk about the Phillies and their struggles. We really let the Flyers skate by on about a decade of incompetence here. Now we're giving Danny Briere and company a chance to rebuild it. But, man, the Flyers really got off easy in this city. I know they're the 4th of the 4 major teams, big picture. But, man, Flyers fans are passionate. And Flyers fans really have let the Flyers off easy, in my opinion. They did blow before this year. On that, gotcha. Look, it is what it is. The Flyers are fun again. And I'm trying, and I do put them on from time to time again. Maybe that's my fault. Maybe there's a grievance with me for not giving them enough time. But it's just really hard when you're watching as much sports as I am on a regular basis it's very hard to to put more sports on the TV. Last night, Monday Night Raw's on. Monday Night Football's on. There's all this stuff. Christmas movies all over the place. What was I watching last night? Invincible for the 4,000th time. The last 5 years was worse than 90 to 95. With the Flyers, I kind of concerned with how they've gotten let off the hook. And I think if there's more criticism of the Flyers over the last 5 to 10 years, I probably would have cared more. I would say if I had to power rank those 4 teams, the Phillies would be my biggest grievance, the Sixers 2, the Flyers 3, the Eagles I have the least grievances. I don't know how anybody can complain about anything the Eagles do. I don't know how anybody could question any decision the Eagles make. Their track record over the last 5 years is that special. Colts hit the lottery and drafted a top 3 quarterback of all time and managed just 1 Super Bowl. Eagles have 2 Super Bowls with Hurts and Foles. We are not the same. Look, the Colts hit the lottery and drafted a top 3 quarterback twice in the last couple decades with Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck. Let's be honest. Andrew Luck could have been a top 3 quarterback all time. The raw talent was there. The Colts just did him a disservice and could not give him anything remotely close to a competent team. When you force Andrew Luck into early retirement, we are not the same. And 2 all-time wide receivers, Marvin Harrison, try to think. They're all-time, yes. I don't know where on the all-time list, but all-time, yes. I have agreements with NFL having games on Netflix and Amazon Prime. Feel bad for the people. Absolutely. My grievance is with all sports leagues going to these streaming services. It's getting too damn expensive to watch our sports teams play, to watch TV, period. Their offensive line outside of Jeff Saturday sucked. Absolutely. Amen. Eagles as an organization is just amazing put together. We complain to complain around here, and we all know it. Absolutely. No, I knew Reggie Wayne. I was just sitting there thinking, I was thinking about Marvin Harrison, that he's a little higher on the list to me than Reggie Wayne. I was just stuck thinking about where they rank. Look, we complain about the minute details, but the Eagles organization, to use an unpopular phrase, are the gold standard of football. Jeffrey Lurie may single-handedly be the best owner in professional sports in America. Who was that injured cornerback the Eagles drafted in the second round? Sidney Jones. Sidney Jones was the guy we drafted in the second round a few years back. He was coming off a torn ACL or torn Achilles, something like that. It was a risk-reward type move at that point. I feel we are lucky to have Jalen, as he is big and doesn't get hurt much. Look, we're lucky to have Jalen, period, because he's just a winner. I want winners. I want guys that care about the jersey name, the team name on the jersey, the logo, the shield, not the name on the back. Howie should be in the Hall of Fame, as he makes absolutely Howie deserves Hall of Fame consideration. I thought, I didn't know if Sidney Jones was going to be a stud. I remember thinking and talking with people. It was pre-podcast Phil. Pre-podcast P right here, okay? But I remember talking about it and being like, look, it's a risk-reward move. I wouldn't have taken that risk in the first round, but the second round, he had top 10 first-round pedigree, but coming off an injury, you take that chance. And in that situation at the time, it was the right move. It didn't work out. He did go on to play a few more years after he left Philly. I want to say with Jacksonville. I'm not positive on that. And he just kept getting hurt, couldn't get healthy, never regained that speed and burst that he had. I think most Eagles fans' complaints come from having to answer to New York fans. I don't answer to New York fans. We don't answer to New York fans. We don't answer to Dallas fans. Those fans feed off of us for attention, especially now. Plain and simple. I think most complaints come from the negative aura that the media gives us. Like we feed off of them. Goes back to the media conversation from earlier. That they used to be respected. Most grievances from top to least. Sixers, Flyers, Phillies, been to the World Series and done well despite coming up short. Eagles. Yeah, I mean, I put the Phillies one. I would flip-flop the Phillies. I'd go Phillies, Sixers, Flyers. Because the Phillies are afraid to make the changes necessary to finish that story, to stop them from coming up short. But yeah, other than that, I think you're fair. The Sixers deserve plenty of grievances. Eagles deserve none. Good morning, Jonathan, by the way. The upper part of the Achilles, which took less time to recover, but fact is that he lacked physicality. And he might have had it in college, and maybe the injury did it, maybe it didn't. I don't know. But it was a good risk to take there. What fan base is more annoying, New York or Dallas? New York's annoying. Dallas is delusional. That's how I break it down. Why would we answer to any other fan base other when we do something stupid like fistfights? Yeah, look. They do the fistfights. We just call you out, right? We're the assholes, supposedly. But they're the real bad fan bases. They are. Plain and simple. Anyway, guys, we're past 9:30. You got a couple minutes of overtime today. It's time to go get some breakfast, some more coffee, see what's on the docket the rest of this day, shovel the damn driveway again. But anyway, guys, everybody have a great rest of the day. We're going to wrap this baby up here. We'll be back tomorrow, Christmas Eve. Again, for the second time, like I started the show. Happy brother to Will. Happy birthday to my brother, Will. Turns 51 this Festivus morning. Happy Festivus to everybody. We're back tomorrow for Christmas morning. Our show on Christmas. There won't be a show on Christmas Day, but we'll do a show tomorrow on Christmas Eve. We'll talk about what presents we won under the Christmas tree. That'll be tomorrow's topic on the show. So everybody have a great Festivus. Air those grievances with everybody safely today. Have a great day. Yes, thank you. Merry Christmas Eve. It was always someone else's party, but those days are long gone. Yes. Go Birds. Bubbles up. Always. Jose, have a great day as well. Hey, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Go Birds. Bubbles up.